I have two really, really good memories in my career with you, and that is driving. We won the Wrangler car was a partnership with you, driving that number 3
That's
Wrangler.
Right.
Yep. But even
2010.
Even before that, I drove. This was really seriously driving for RCR. This wasn't a partnership where the car was over at DEI or anything like that. But I went to drive. It was an Oreo car.
That's right.
And it was your race car, your guys, and the number 3. And I've never had an easier time.
You wore him out in that car.
Yeah.
Daytona, my gosh.
2002, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
2002.
It was 2004, wasn't it?
No, well, I think there were several, but he won the Daytona 500 in 2004 and then went in that Xfinity race. Busch Series then had been rained out or something, and he had to stay and run that car on Monday. But I think you won several, didn't you? But I remember that one for sure.
What year? I still have that car in our museum.
You've got the car.
Oh yeah.
So
oh man, that's a pretty car too.
So and Bobby Hutchinson's I think was working on the car. A couple other guys that were familiar. I can't remember everybody that was working on the car, but I walk over there. I've got to run the Cup car on Sunday. And, it's speed weeks, and it's busy, and doing a ton of media, and got to worry about the Cup car and get qualified in and go run the qualifying race. And I'd walk over to that Xfinity garage to drive Richard's car, and they're just all hanging around. I was like, what do y'all want to do in this practice? I just go out there and run 4 laps. Okay. I go out there and run 4 laps. Okay, we're good. We're not going to run anymore. I'm like, none? Not going to draft? Nothing? Nope, we're good. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And they wanted to try one thing. And I was like, all right. So we went out. They got under the car, and they fooled around a little bit. And I go back out there, and I'm driving. I'm like, man, this thing turns really good. It's really hooked up. Because back then, the track was wore out. And with those Busch cars and the way the spoiler and everything was, when you'd come off the corner, a bunch of air would get underneath the car. And it would get real tight off of 4, and depending on which way the wind was blowing, but it typically off turn 4 would get real tight, and they fixed it just like perfect. And I said, man, what'd y'all do? And they were like, well, I got a hole in the pan underneath, and it's creating a vacuum. How the air would come into the grill and go under the car and through the hole in that pan of the radiator would create a vacuum and suck the car to the ground, and it was so awesome. I'd never, ever had an easier time of driving a car and winning than I did in that car of yours.
It might have been 2004. I can't. It was back in those days. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
who was the crew chief?
I think Bobby Hutchinson.
Was it Bobby?
He would have been the crew chief on it. Yeah.
But it was so fun because that for me, there's a couple other times when I got to drive the Black 3 car at tests. We were at Vegas once testing, and Dad swapped cars with me, and then we were at Indy. And you'll like this. We were, I was fast and we're at this test, and I'm happy with my car, and we've got this big giant sway bar in our car, and the car's pinned down on the left front, and big right front spring, little left front spring, and it's driving great. And Dad's car's okay. He's not, he never tested wide open. He just kind of go out there and run, get it comfortable. I'm out there testing, qualifying hard as I can go, like right on the edge.
Hammer down.
He never would. And I get in his car, and I drive it, and all I want to do is match his lap time. And we got the little lap timer on the dash, and I'm out there running. I run just the same lap that he run. I'm like, oh, great, good. I did exactly what Daddy did. Because if you run slower, he's going to say something. And he goes and drives my car, and we come back in. He goes, I said, what'd you think about my car? It's so fast, ain't it? And he goes, it ain't going to work. And his car had a little bar in it, little front sway bar, and pretty even on the front springs. And he'd go in the corner, and it'd roll over, and the left front would come up. And it just had a completely weird, different feel. The whole thing just rolled over on the right rear side, right rear spring. And I'm like, man, how's that going to work? And he's like, I'll see you in about 20 laps. Because I qualified. We ended up qualifying in the top 3. And he qualified around 15th or 12th. And he's like, I'm going to pass you with, about 20, 30 laps in this race. I was like, whatever. And so sure enough,
here you come.
10, 15 laps in the race, my car quits turning. And it won't turn. Got too big a bar, too little left front spring, too big a right front spring, and just won't go through the corner. And here you come. And he goes by me, and that thing's rolled way over. Left front valence is a freaking 4 inches off the ground. I'm like, damn.
He had that. He knew what he wanted, and he went by feel.
He
in
did.
The car, you know?
That was one thing I never could get. I would look at the time on the sheet, and I had to go faster. Whatever it takes to make it go faster. If it drives worse, whatever, I don't care. I want to run as fast as I possibly can. Where he would go by comfort, and it's got to turn for 100 laps. It's not gonna, if it don't drive this way or feel this way, it's not gonna work for over the entire run. And I just wanted it to go fast for a lap. If it went fast for a lap, I figured it'd go fast. It was gonna be good. But
he was really good at knowing about the feel. A lot of times he hardly ever worried about the speed unless we were way off.
Mm-hmm.
But he wanted that car to feel like he wanted it. And he had every crew chief he had, they had it worked out.
Is that why he never really cared much about qualifying laps and poles and that kind of thing? Or at least I've always heard that. Is that true?
No, we won some poles for sure.
He did, but like it always seemed, I don't know.
He just wanted that car to feel a certain way, and we'd spend more time working on that than we'd eat. Sometimes we wouldn't even make a qualifying run, a practice qualifying run.
Well, the answer may be no, but were you at the test when he called and told Dale Jr. to get on the airplane at Talladega?
I don't think they. So I don't think y'all were there. They were testing the V8 in the Xfinity car. The Busch car's running the V6.
Oh yeah.
And they were. I don't think Cup car was there. I think it was just Dad's Xfinity car.
Okay.
Yeah,
I got you.
I know that Petrie was a crew chief back then, and he flew up on the plane with me, and he drove the car too.
Oh, at Indy?
Do you know this story?
Oh no, this is at Daytona or Talladega.
Oh yeah.
I'm working at the dealership, changing oil. My brother Kerry is 10 feet away as a service writer. Phone rings. Kerry says, "It's Daddy." Says he wants to talk to you. I was like, all right. So he says, "Hey, tomorrow morning, be at the airport, getting on the King Air, come to Talladega, get your helmet and your driver's suit." Why? Don't ask any questions. Don't tell Kerry. Hangs up the phone.
Don't tell Kerry.
Yeah. Kerry's standing right there. I was like, okay. So I just walked back over and went back to changing oil. Next morning, I get on the plane, and Petrie's on there, I think. And but I know he was at the test. And we get there. I got my old late model stock driving suit, and they're testing the V8 for the Xfinity series. They had the V6s in there, and they're trying to go to V8. And so I get in Dad's like, all right, get your stuff on. Dave Marcus was there. He was driving the car a little bit. And the funniest thing is that I have no idea. I don't know any better. So when Dad says, "Hey, if you lift, you're going to burn a piston, ruin his motor. So don't lift." I'm like, "At all? No." And he didn't tell me, did that mean in the garage, pit road? So I literally am like trying to, yes. I literally am thinking in my mind, how do I get out of this garage and down pit road wide open?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's funny.
all right, so when I put it in gear and get it rolling, I go whop and just lift off the gas and roll out on pit road. And as soon as I got on pit road, wide open. And I'm going down the back straightaway looking at that banking into turn 3, and I'm thinking, how's the car not going to fly out of the racetrack? Right?
Yeah.
I'm like, how's it going to stay in the track? And man, you go in the corner and you're talking about feeling grip like you ain't never felt before in your life. But that's
a funny story. I'd never heard that one.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Go wide open.
Yeah, he's like, go wide open. Well, he was trying to scare me into holding it wide open. He was thinking that I was going to go out there and go in the corner and lift.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't have burnt the piston. He was just telling me a fib to keep me from lifting because he thought that I was going to go in there and get scared and driving down into turn 3. He wasn't talking about wide open out of the pits in the garage, but in my mind, I'm going, damn, I got to get out of here wide open. How am I going to do that?
Was that your first time at Talladega?
I'd never been anywhere but Myrtle Beach.
Oh, Lord. Now, that was a transition.
Yeah. So another funny part of that story that I learned about Dad is, and driving and his smarts is, so I go out there and I ran. I didn't know how to. I didn't know that to stay lower off the corner and down the straightaway would cut distance off the lap, literally cut feet off the lap. I was driving the car out to the wall on the straightaway and then down in the bottom of the corner and adding thousands of feet to the lap in the distance of my lap, adding time to my lap. So I'm out there running, and I mean, I got a hold of that steering wheel, right? I'm freaking, I got a hold of it hard, and I'm thinking, I ran just as fast as Dave Marcus had ran just a moment before, and I'm thinking, wow, okay. Well, now that I get out and I'm going to think about it, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to let the car feed out to the wall, and I'm going to be easy with the wheel and let the wheel do what it wants in the corner, and man, I should go way faster. And I went out there and I was 2 seconds slower. And I came in there and Dad was hot. He's like, what? Yeah. He's like, what in the hell did you do? And I'm like, well, in the corner, you know, the bumps, I'm letting the wheel kind of move around in my hands a little bit, and thought that maybe that would free it up and let it roll faster. And coming off the corner, open the wheel up and come out to the wall. He's like, no. He's like, hold the wheel, don't let it move. When it hits the bump and it tries to jerk the steering wheel out of your hand, don't let it move. Hold the wheel straight. And he's like, coming off the corners, run right against the yellow line, tight. And so I go back out there and I ran back down to where I was running. And then,
that's funny.
Yeah. And I'm like, man, at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm a race car driver now, right? I'm with Dave Marcus, my dad, and we're all driving and we're all running the same laps. This is great. And then Petrie's just hanging out, right? And then at 4:30, we're going to quit at 5 and go home. Dad goes, hey, Petrie, you want to take some laps?
Oh.
And I was like, oh, man, come on. Everybody going to get a lap? What in the hell?
Oh, my goodness.
Took the wind out of my sails. But I didn't know Petrie was a racer. He did as good as we did.
Yeah.
I mean, Petrie used to race late model stocks at Hickory and was very successful.
Yeah, he's a good racer.
Right.
By the way, Richard, Kerry still doesn't know about this, so we can just kind of keep this to ourselves. It's still a secret.
He didn't get invited.
It still doesn't know.